This video corresponds to Kittel and Hoffer's Introduction to Biblical Hebrew, Lesson 12. As always, let's begin by pronouncing our main sentence for this lesson. Vayar kol ha'am vayiplu al pneihem. Vayar kol ha'am vayipalu al pneihem. Vayar kol ha'am vayipalu al pneihem. We can begin by working on our first verb form, vayar. This is, as should be recognizable to you by now, a prefix. Here we have our vav conversive. Our prefix is a yod, which indicates third masculine singular, verbal prefix. So if yod is our prefix, that means we're missing a root letter. The root letters that we do have are resh and aleph. So our procedure when a root letter is missing from a prefix form, what we do is we look at the vowel under the prefix. In this case, the vowel is a patach. So if the question is, what does that vowel indicate? The answer is, we don't have a rule for that. Now, we've actually seen this form before, but we haven't seen it as part of a lesson yet. So we do know some prefix vowel rules, and those are these. If the vowel under the prefix is a comets, then we're looking at middle weak, a hollow root, which is to say second vav or second yod. That's one rule for identifying a missing root letter in the prefix form. The second rule that we have is if that vowel under the prefix is a tzere, then we're looking at a first yod root, or we're looking at halach, which is our first hey that acts like a first yod. So what rule do we have that can help us with this particular form? We don't have a comet, so we don't have a tzere. Here is a rule that works pretty much. In the cal stem, if a root letter is missing, that is, it's not there, and the vowel under the prefix is anything other than a comets or a tzere, then the root is third hey. Now, when I say the root letter is missing, I mean that it has disappeared altogether. So, a first nun root, I'm thinking of the dagesh, is still indicating that there's a nun there. So this does not include first nuns. So in the cal stem, if a root letter is missing and the vowel under the prefix is anything other than comets or tzere, then the root is a third hey. So if that's true, then our root in this case is ra'ah, resh aleph hey, which of course means to see. So if we want to parse this form, then we are looking at ra'ah, cal, prefix, third masculine singular, vav conversive, which means and he saw, vayar. Okay, if we look at the whole phrase, we have vayar kol ha'am. So in this case, the subject of the verb is kol ha'am, which means construct chain, all the people. Now, you will notice that kol ha'am is the subject of a singular verb, even though all the people sounds like it's talking about a lot of people. So this is what we call a collective noun. In other words, all of the people are being seen as one body. So it takes a singular verb. So we do the same thing in English. So if we imagine a football game, say, and we want to say the crowd is cheering, we would say. So the crowd, collection of people, is cheering in the singular. We would not say the crowd are cheering. So, Vayar kol ha'am, we translate, and all the people saw. All right, now we can look at our second verb, vayipalu. Vayipalu. So again, we can look at stem, form, and special features. So we should recognize cow prefix vav conversive fairly easily. This letter is the prefix, and this letter is the prefix complement. So together, this yod and shurek are marking the third masculine plural form of the verb. If that's the case, then we have only two root letters left, pe and lamed. Although, in fact, there is a dagesh here that we have to explain. This is not a PL form of the verb, and since the vowel under the prefix is regular, hirek, it's what we normally expect in the prefix form. Those two clues together tell us that what we have is an assimilated first nun. So in fact, there is not a root letter missing. It is just a nun that has assimilated into the pe. So our root, nafal, stem kal, prefix, third masculine plural, vav conversive. Translated vayipalu, and they fell. Now note that the subject of the verb is still ha'am, but now the people are understood to be acting individually. So now they're taking a plural verb. Basic rule is collective noun like people may take either singular or plural verbs, and it is not always entirely predictable which one they will take. So just don't let that confuse you. So, vayipalu, then our final phrase, al pneihem. Our first word is al, which we have known from vocabulary. It's our preposition meaning on or upon. Now, hem also looks familiar to us from vocabulary, although we haven't seen it in this form. So we know the preposition heim, which when it stands by itself means they. What we have here is they suffixed to a noun, so it is a possessive pronoun, third masculine plural, meaning their. So heim by itself, they. Hem, suffix to a noun, means their. So this then is the noun, their something. It looks like the plural construct form of a noun. So if we were to revert the construct form back to the regular plural, we would have panim. You should recognize panim from vocabulary. It literally means faces, plural, or maybe cheeks. In Hebrew, panim can be translated either in the singular or in the plural. It can mean either face or faces. In this case, because there's a crowd of people, it's going to mean faces. So we hardly ever see this in a singular form, pain, which means a cheek. We see panim can either mean face or faces, even though it appears to be plural. We've also seen this with Elohim, which is a plural form, but most often means God, although it could also mean gods. So, al pneihem simply means upon their faces. So, if we put our main sentence back together, Vayar kol ha'am vayipelu al pnehem. So if we translate, vayar, and they saw, kol ha'am, that's the subject, so all the people saw, vayipelu, and they fell, al pnehem, upon their faces. And all the people saw, and they fell upon their faces. Now there's one more thing to learn in this unit, and that is this form, lifnei, which is related to the word we just saw, panim. So all that lifnei is the preposition lamed attached to the construct form of panim, which is pnei. When we attach them, the two vocal schwas, the first one resolves there to a hirek. So lefnei becomes lifnei. Literally, this preposition means to the face of, but we will never, ever, ever translate it that way. Instead, in English, the better rendering of it is before, in a spatial sense, like in front of, or in the presence of. Lifnei, before, in the presence of. Now there's another related form that we can also learn. This is simply attaching the preposition min, meaning out of or away from, to the preposition lifnei. So if you add min to lifnei, then your nun will assimilate, and you get milifnei. So this expression just means, quite literally, from before, or from the presence of, or away from, being in front of, something like that. So lifnei, before or in the presence of, milifnei, from before or from the presence of. All right, that's it for this lesson. Continue on with your pronunciation of Genesis 22. Make sure to take a look at that YouTube video, and I'll see you next time.